Hi everyone, I'm coming live from Capricorn 6 and 10. So this is my new hideouts on Friday afternoons. I'm working here now most Friday nights from 4 to 8, depending on my full-time job, of course. So there's a bit of noise behind us. So I'll just wait to see if anyone's going to come online. And if you can hear me, it's a bit noisy. So what I'll do, I'll just flip the camera around so you can see the space. It's actually really, that's the entry where you come up from downstairs. These are our rooms. My room is last one. I'm still getting it ready. Trying to get the energy just right. Gonna bring in some more crystals. Got my bed. Hi Kylie, how was your week? Can you hear me okay? Can you let me know if you can hear me okay? Because there's a bit of noise from downstairs. So this is the other part. They have, the space has, what is it? It has a stage, obviously. Oh, it's funny that the angels can got them to quieten it down, so that's good. Yeah, so this is like their mezzanine. Thank you, honey. So this is like their mezzanine area. It's just amazing up here. The energy is really, really nice. So I've just had a reading. Somebody that just walked in. Super happy for tonight. No, it's good because Kylie, because for some people the energy is shifting a little bit because we're coming into a full moon, and I'm not sure if it's going into Aries or Capricorn. So if you've got any of your signs in an air sign, then you could be feeling a bit of reprieve. Sorry, just lost you. That's better. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so Kylie, so full moon, this one's got a lot of releasing to do, so you might find that you are in good spirits, and that's a really good thing. So write it out, because you've had probably a really rough 6 weeks. Energetically, it's been very up and down for you, right? So ride the wave, ride this full moon wave and let everything go. Anything that doesn't serve you, let it go now. So yeah, so write it out and have a good weekend, and hopefully we'll get some good weather and you can get out and do your gardening or whatever it is that you like to do. So yeah, so that was the space up here at Capricorn, and I feel really at home here. It's actually nice to get away from my apartment because the energy is very turbulent in my unit. So I'm counting down the days, weeks actually, until I move. Yeah, I bet. I can just see you in the garden getting some sun too. So that'll be good too for your soul too, Kylie, to get some sun. That'll really give you that little bit of more burst of energy. You might feel like you can, race around with point, but just, take it easy. Don't use up all your energy all at once. So yeah, so I was just talking about Capricorn and how it's what, 3 or 4 weeks ago when I came and did my reading, and how I just asked the universe to, work here. It was just, it was so instant. I didn't even, my guides were pushing that so quickly out of my mouth that I didn't even have a chance to even think. And that's when I know that it was a really big push, and it's the right thing, for me to ask for a space, and then, 2 weeks later to even ask for my own room, and for the universe to say yes. And now I've got my healing room. So as much as, I'll still have people to come and do, at my place, hopefully wherever I move, and it will be at this stage the inner west. I think I have to leave Wentworth Point, unfortunately, just because some people are staying there and I can't be in the same energy. It's actually very toxic, so I have to separate myself. But I feel like there's a new life here, and I've always wanted to move to the inner west, so it won't be too far. But it's just, we all got to do things that make our souls sing. And for me, it's been all about change until I find peace. I guess maybe I have to keep moving until I find some peace, and find, something that really, sets my soul on fire, and something that I can spread my wings a little bit. So yeah, waiting to see what happens with that. Yeah, so I was just saying my healing room is really good. I'm going to get the energy just right so I can do healings. And obviously, of course, I still have people either via Skype or once I'm settled, hopefully I can afford a second bedroom, which will be my office, and I can have you guys in for readings. Okay, so I wanted to talk about surrender. And I wanted to be completely honest. I don't know how to surrender at all. I'm as ethnic as you can get, as in when I refer to myself being that way, it's very much we just hold on to things, right? We don't let things go. It's just been ingrained in us generation after generation after generation to hold on, to hold on, to hold on. You don't let go because letting go means you're not in control. And being not in control scares me. Look how the light is just pouring in, just seeping, just look at that, just peeking in. The sun's starting to go down. And I thought it was just really nice. Yeah, so not only am I trying to work out how to surrender, I have to undo generations of conditioning on generations who didn't know what it was like to surrender, didn't know how it was like to let their heart guide them, didn't know how it was like to let the universe pave the way, let the universe show you the signs, show you the synchronicities, learn to trust yourself, because I think surrender is all about trusting yourself. Remember how we spoke about that a few weeks ago, where I had to learn to trust myself first before I'm trusting the universe. And right now that's where I'm in the middle of. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it is a really nice light how it's just peeking through. So obviously they just told me to sit here, so I'm like, okay, I'll just sit here. I've almost got like a little halo. It's pretty cool. Almost an angel. Some days I'm an angel. So I'm talking about undoing a lot of conditioning, because we were never taught to trust ourselves. It was something that we were never, it was something that we were never taught to do, was to trust ourselves or to trust around our guidance. How we were brought up to, and not that it's bad, we were brought up to listen to other people. And for me, I've always been told I'm very influential, because there's a lot of smoke because they're burning coffee downstairs. They're cleaning it out, there's a lot of smoke, so I'm just having trouble. So there's a lot of conditioning to undo because we were never taught to go within. We were always told to make a decision, then to run that decision by somebody and then wait for their opinion and then make sure, and then, obviously it was like, yeah, make a decision. Then it was like, no, but make sure about this and make sure don't do this, and always worst case scenario, not, hey, if you want to fly, we'll catch you. I was always supported, don't get me wrong. Any decision I made, we're always supported in the end. There was nothing about that. It was just we were never taught to trust ourselves. And I can be influential. It's because I'm one of those people that just absorbs everything around me, okay? I absorb a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's not a bad thing, it's just how I am, and I have to accept that that's how I am. But I guess it's acceptance of myself too. So I'm not too sure where that comes from. But this surrendering is no joke, and I will be very honest and just say I have no idea. Like, I have no idea in how to surrender. And the thought of it, I have to catch my breath. It's just like, oh fuck, how do I surrender? How do I surrender to the universe my path right now, and surrender in everything that's happening, like everything that's happening at home with my flatmate, or the drama, or the toxic energy. How do I surrender all that and just, surrender for me also feels like it's, when I think of surrender, I think of giving up. And I've been thinking about it a lot this week. It's never really giving up. It's not even giving in. It's just letting go of control, right? We're letting go of control of something that the universe probably knows is in our best interest, something that we're not ready to see yet, but she's got it all planned out. And I'm very much a planner, right? You all know me as I plan and I organise, and I very much had to just sit here now and just go, surrender. Okay, do I look up in a book how to surrender, because it's not my go-to, right? I'm always going to go to how do I do this? So the nerd in me is like, great, I'll Google it, I'll watch YouTube videos, and my guides are like, no, you need to work this out for yourself. So I've been very nudged into not seeking outside help, and I've almost wanted to seek out one of my mentors as well and ask them how to surrender. But it was just, it really is still, and I can ask them, it really still comes down to me surrendering and working out what that is. And I'm scared to surrender because I don't know what's on the other side. Like, I want so bad for this new unit and this next part of my life and everything just to settle down and for me to find some peace. And I don't want to make the wrong decision again. I want to live, right? I want to live on my own terms and not live by anybody else's rules or demands, and work out for myself how to carve my own life. Even though, you all come to me for guidance on how to carve out your own lives, it's very hard for some of us who are in this field to do that for ourselves, right? We're very good at giving advice. So I struggle with giving myself guidance because, a lot of it comes from fear. And to surrender is having no fear. Right? Surrendering is trusting. It's trusting myself. And even now, like my heart chakra, it's just like, that's just surrender. But I keep going over, but I don't want to give up. Like, I feel like I'm giving up if I surrender. How do I decide? How do I move my energy into not worrying that it's not fear? And how do I move my energy into trusting? And that it's not giving up. Surrendering doesn't mean it's giving up. It just means temporarily I'm letting go of the reins of my life and just allowing the universe to maybe meet me halfway before I can let her come to me completely, right? 100%. Maybe it's about me making room a little bit for her to come a little bit closer to me, for me to work that out. So, I don't have all the answers. I can give, lots of guidance on, when I'm doing reading and stuff, but to surrender baffles me. Like, it's something that even on a spiritual awakening, it's something that I still haven't learned how to do, right? And this is probably the next part of my phase is to surrender. But it's the unknown. Like, I don't know what's on the other side if I surrender. What if I mess it up? What if I'm only in my new place for another year? Like, how will I work with work? And then I start overthinking, and then I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm making the wrong decision and I should move out of my area. And how am I going to go with work and with family? And, you start doubting yourself. And that's not even surrendering. That's even going way back before even surrendering. That's going back into fear because I'm going into worry. I'm going into stress. So I don't know. Comment. Tell me what you think surrendering is. I think it's going to be a process. I don't think, even with everything that's going to happen with me over the next few months, I don't think I will surrender completely. And I know in my heart that that's probably what the universe wants me to do, is to really learn this lesson. And I think surrendering is really asking me what I want. And surrendering is also a partly manifestation, right? Because we've been talking about manifesting and setting intentions and letting go of those intentions. And I'm great. I'll set all the intentions, car mods, and moving, a new lounge and couch or whatever. And I'll set all the intentions and I'll get everyone to set all the intentions. But, I have to surrender those intentions over to the universe. I have to surrender and let go of those intentions over to my higher self, to trust her that she knows that she's got me on the right path. And I swear to God, that scares me so much. Even me just saying it, it's like my heart is just like, I'm shaking, because it's like, it's pretty big for me, right? To surrender and to trust and to let go, set those intentions. And to manifest and to let go. Like, I've been reading a lot about manifestation, and a lot of it is set that intention and vision it. And even me envisioning every day where I would like to move to. Yeah, and overthink. I'll come back to you in 1 second, Kylie. so many of the what ifs yet, but every time I've been able to let them go stuff, I've chatted to them, it's worked out for me, and every time it's bloody hard to do. Go, hey, Kylie, that's really great. Maybe you could show me how. No, just joking. But yeah, it is the buts and the what ifs, and like I was saying to you before, the letting go is just like, I'm wog, man. We don't let go of shit. Like, we just hold on and hold on and hold on. And I'm like that with grief as well, right? I will just hold on to things because out of fear, what will happen. And I don't know what's going to come from this change. I don't know, surrendering is manifesting in my mind where I want to live and what my unit wants to look like. And every day, it's like I'm letting go of, how do I say it? It's like I'm narrowing down my decisions, right? I'm like, okay, so maybe go to an old place or a new place. And then now I've decided, no, I want to move into a new place because, I like all the amenities and things like that. So, surrendering and setting those intentions is a matter of me also working out what I want. And I think once I'm clear on what I want, and I've still got time, obviously my lease doesn't end for 5-6 weeks, and I've got time to sit there and really work out what I want before I need to move. And it's actually, for me, this time around, it's not so much about buts, but yeah, there are doubts. Because I'm coming from something that I keep changing and I keep moving and I keep being unsettled. And for me, not being settled, on the surface I'm used to it, but there's a part of me that when I do move and I'm settled, that I'll have to grieve the old part of me. And it's like I'm almost busting to grieve the old part of me. Like she's ready to be let go, but I'm in this hold at the moment where I can't let go just yet. So I guess I will learn how to surrender once I work out what I want, what it is that I want, and only what I want, that didn't make any sense, is when I'll be able to surrender. Because right now it's not clear. And I can't surrender anything over to the universe if I'm not clear on what I want to manifest and what I want in my life. But maybe that's it, right? Maybe that's just having in my mind, well, I want this, this, and this, and this, and just letting it go. But, I love my list, and I'm like, oh, I want, this kind of shower, and then I want a balcony, and then I want trees nearby, and then I want this nearby, and this nearby. And it's just like I'm giving this universe this massive list of what I want. And everyone says, oh, have that expectation that it's this or something better. And I forget that, right? It's this or something better. Because I won't settle this time, right? I won't settle. I won't, diminish what I want for somebody else. Well, I won't have to because I'm living on my own. But even with my place before this in Maryland's, it was like, oh, well, it didn't have aircon. Okay, well, that was okay. I didn't think it was going to be that bad because I needed to move, right? I was a bit almost desperate. I needed to move. And then, it was like there was no wardrobe. I'm like, oh, that's okay. And I did manage, But I think it's also about what you feel you deserve too, and stepping up into that and knowing that you deserve the best. And something that's really working for me, I have to keep reminding myself, is living my best life, whatever that means to me, right? And you have to live your best life, whatever that means to you, on your terms, not on anybody else's terms. So that's it. So I guess watch this space when it comes to surrendering. I don't know. I'll work through it, I guess. I've got time to work through it before I have to move. I've got 5 weeks. Thank goodness I'm busy as well. I'm not spending too much time. But, the energies as well, like I'll start speaking about that. Last 2 days have made me feel quite introverted, especially with the full moon coming up. Because I feel like I'm in that holding phase, right? I don't feel like I'm here or there, and, my energy seems to be all over the place still. So, there's still a lot of confusion with the energy at the moment. There's still a lot of mental, non-mental clarity, like we don't really know which way we're going. I do feel that parts of our psyche are opening up at the moment. Like I know my clairvoyant yesterday, like I was wiped out yesterday. I was still watching a movie, but all I wanted to do was literally like lay in bed and watch movies, and that's what I did when I got home. I just wanted to curl up and just not deal with my flatmate or the world. I just wanted to lock myself away. But even by doing so, I felt my clairvoyance quite strong, and I think it does tend to peak. Our intuition does tend to peak quite high when we're coming up to a full moon, and we're also coming up to another solstice gateway. So that's like I think an equinox, right? So like the northern hemisphere is settling into winter, and we're settling into spring, summer. So the energies are very, they can be a little bit temperamental. I don't feel that there's going to be massive energy shifts just yet. I think the equinox will be a good breaking point for a lot of us. I think a lot of us will realise what we want, and we'll be able to move to that energy a little bit better. Full moon, equinox. What else is going on? If anyone has any questions, comment below, ask me. Maybe I can offer some guidance this afternoon, see how we're going. So full moon, equinox. The energy just feels, when I'm just tuning into the collective, it just feels very, it's still all very unclear. And I think once we also come out of this full moon, we'll start to have a little bit more clarity. Venus is retrograde. I think if anyone saw my personal post on Venus retrograde, like the day before yesterday, I was like looking at, $400 sunglasses and $100 eye cream, and I was looking at non-invasive tummy, stuff like lipo things with my beautician, and I'm just like, oh, Venus, like I just feel like I want to be pretty, right? But I also want to feel like I need to drop like hundreds of dollars at the moment, so just be very careful of Venus, and she's definitely one of my ruling planets. I know that for sure for me. So always just check your natal chart. So she's making me want to spend money that, well, granted I have, but obviously I need money to move, right? So, I was looking at, I should buy a new fridge and, sell the fridge and get a new table. And it's like, hold on a second. And it's just like, you need to move. So, and I haven't done my tax yet. So I know once the tax comes through that I'll be a little bit tempted. And hopefully won't drop too much money on mods off of the car. So I'm trying to really be really good. Excuse me 1 second. And Venus is going to be in a very long retrograde. I think it's like 40 or 50 days, so it's almost 3 months. She's not going to come out of it till December. No, I think middle of November she'll start to go direct, but it won't be until December that she'll actually move out of that phase. And if you're in relationships, just be aware it can be very testing. If you're single, we need to just read between the lines, right? Be a little bit more alert, and not everyone is going to be what they seem. I think, sexual energy is going to be very high. I think we're all going to feel very like we want to, pounce and stuff, and, we want to, get down and dirty or whatever, but it's just very much just notice where your energy is taking you, right? Where it's leading you, addictions and, just be aware of your vices and things like that as well. So I actually don't remember a Venus retrograde like this one. This one seems very, very intense. So it's very, people can still be very fiery, can be very emotional, very passionate. There's a lot of energy behind Venus. And, once Venus moves out of her retrograde, then, definitely testing relationship stuff. So, and it's not just romantic. It's, your bosses, it's your friends. A lot of us might find that people who, it's like the veil's lifted, right? The gloves have come off, and you're seeing people for who they really are. It's like, why haven't I seen this before? So some relationships you'll lose friends, and sometimes you'll gain new friends. And anyone that leaves your life is, I saw something about rejection when somebody leaves your life, when you feel rejected, because obviously that's been quite a big thing for me, is feeling rejected, is actually the universe protecting me. And it's like I have so many things to remind myself that this is why the universe does the way that she does. Like even the situation that happened with my flatmate, I haven't had a rejection like that in so long. And usually, I hate to say it, but usually I'm the one that lets things go, right? I'm usually one that does the breaking up and then sends people away or whatever. Like I'm the one that blocks and shuts people off. And it's very, very confronting to be on on the reversing side. So relationships, just Venus is very fiery. She's very passionate. She's definitely a force to be reckoned with. So whatever happened will happen, obviously. Just keep in mind that you just need to take a step back. Okay, you just need to take a step back and going, where's this coming from? Are they feeling threatened? Are they, everyone's got so many issues. Like this year is all about really like everything is just coming to the surface, right? We're just getting pushed and pushed and pushed to clear and clear and clear and to work through and let go anything that doesn't serve us. But it comes back to that surrendering and letting go. It's like sometimes we don't realize we need to let things go so good things can come in. And even me living my situation, it's my perspective. I have to see that it's going to bring great things in. Bring great things in. I can't talk now. So definitely relationship stuff. I don't see anyone's relationships in terms of work. I think there'll be a few testing moments. Like I snapped to one of my project managers the other day, the last week, and I apologise, and it's very unlike me to lose my shit at work. Usually I can keep everything quite locked down. But I was just having no sleep and very fatigued. So, we can go from 0 to 100 very, very quickly. And, we've got to just be humble and apologise and collect ourselves. And if you're not ready to deal with people, and if they're pushing you and they're testing you, use your divine power to step back and go, no, not now. Like, I'll talk to you when I've calmed down, or I'll talk to you when I'm ready to talk to you, because that's about us setting our boundaries. And some people don't like boundaries, so I've learned. And I'm very much, I set very clear boundaries in terms of relationships. And some people think they can just, they're blinded by their control, right? And that's okay. That's their lesson to learn. And it's my lesson as well to learn in all situations. So I don't feel it's going to cause too many issues at work. I think it's more about how we see love that Venus will affect. It will affect us. Some of us will lose great love. Some of us will gain great love. Some of us will decide what's our worth and what we're ready to what we want to put up with moving forward. Okay, what we want to let go of, and what's going to bring us more joy. And are the people around us going to bring us joy, or are they going to just be toxic and bring us down and be negative? Like, are you doing so much work that you're staying friends or in relationships just out of necessity? And that's okay. It's just understand the reason behind it, right? It's all about that awareness that I speak about. It's about having the awareness about why you're making the decisions that your decisions. Just losing my train of thought, sorry, because I'm just thinking. It's just, they just keep showing me rose-coloured glasses, right? So people are going to really show, I think Venus retrograde is really going to show people that their darker side, right? And I think if you have the awareness and you can understand that everyone has their shadow, it's whether or not you can accept them with their shadow, right? And whether or not you can focus on your own shadow. Because I know Venus is actually bringing up a lot of my shadow, a lot of my dark, and a lot of who I am, and parts of me that were very controlling, and and how I saw relationships and how I saw people, and it's very confronting, right? It's very confronting to sit there and to accept your shadows, and not everyone is going to bring out the best parts in you too. And I think it's also about surrounding yourself with the people that will build you up and be positive and all that lovey-dovey stuff and happy and stuff like that. But if you're lucky to have a few good people who will show you your shadow, but with love, like they show you saying, oh, but you still care, things that you may not want to admit, but things you need to hear, and that comes from love, because they want the best for you, which I also had, from my twin this week. She's like, oh, but you're reacting this way still because you care. And I'm like, well, yeah, I do. Like, I'm not a person to turn off I'm not a person to turn off my feelings on somebody. I don't go cold, right? It's not in me. And as a person, that's fine. As a healer, when you see somebody in so much pain and you can see how their life can change if they just got out of their own way, and there's nothing that you can do about it, it's different again, right? And then you're an empath, and then you feel everything. So for me, it's three times. Everything is like times 3 with me. So it was very confronting for her to say, you still care, and I was like, but can you not say that? Can you not, don't tell me that I care. It's just like, but you do. And I'm like, yeah, I do. And I didn't want to admit it, right? That my decisions were still coming because I still had feelings. And that's a matter of working through those feelings. But like I was saying, what I'm trying to say is having the right people around you that can bring light to your shadow, right? That can bring light to your darkness and get you to accept that, you're not perfect. Even though Virgos, we like to think that we're perfect. So we're not always going to get it right. And if you have the right people around you, they're going to love your shadows. I guess that's what I'm saying. They're going to love your dark as well as your light, because they know that your light outshines your dark, right? In the right way. So if anyone has any questions, I've got a few more minutes before I finish up. So usually Fridays and Sundays are definite here at Capricorn. And I'm so thankful actually for this space at the moment. It gets me away from my house, which I hate, because home is my sanctuary, right? It's where I go to be safe, and I'm longing. I can't tell you how much I'm longing for peace and calm, and just not having to worry about anybody's energy and what mood they're in and what they bring to the house. And it's just, it's a lot of work. But Capricorn's really, really nice. The space is really great. They've got really lots of events coming up too. And I think, Therese, when's the open day? 10th of November? Yeah, so 10th of November open day, and I've got a sneaking suspicion they're going to get me to do something. So hopefully I'm going to wuss out. Because I'm very good with one-on-one stuff, but I have a sneaking suspicion they're going to probably get me to do readings and stuff. So, but empath and introverts. I'm really good behind a camera because it's just all of you are over there and I'm here, so I'm good. Thank you. It's the lighting. I swear it's the lighting. It's not me. And it's a lot of coffee today. It's the lighting, and it's just, I love how the universe just goes, hey, I'm just going to put a little bit of light, put a little bit of halo around you today. And that for me is a big sign. When I see light or the sun comes out after I've really had some really dark thoughts, notice that. Notice that, if you're thinking something and it's very dark and then you have a moment of clarity, notice how the universe confirms that for you, right? So I always know, but I'll look out the window, and if it changes and the sun comes out, then that's a confirmation for me, and that's a really good sign for me too. Even though they're the lights, but there was, I think the sun's just setting now, so now that's artificial. But if you can see the purple, sometimes on a Saturday it looks actually really purple in camera, but sometimes on the Sunday there's lines of purple running across the floor, and it's actually really pretty for me. That's like Archangel Michael. It's just, it's a very spiritual spacey. The energy is beautiful. So if you don't want to come and see me for a reading, obviously come and see us for the open day. It's going to be amazing. There's heaps of parking, really good coffee downstairs. So it's just, I feel at peace here. Like I feel safe here, and I feel sometimes I wish I could just sleep here and just move in until my lease ends. And I'm very good at running away, right? I love, I'm very one that will run away from things very, very quickly, but I'm also learning to dig deep and to find strength in everything that's going on at the moment, and it's really teaching me to work out how much I'm going to let everything as an empath affect me at home, because physically, I'm on steroids now for my hives. Like, it's that bad at the moment that I I'm physically just, the thought process doesn't stop, right? And energetically, it's like I have to keep clearing the house, clearing the house, clearing the house, because the amount of energy that surrounds the house, if you're sensitive to it, is just, it's not good. But the biggest lesson for me during all of this is to really dig deep in. And people say don't let it get to you. And if you're an empath and you're a highly sensitive person, everything gets to us, right? That's how I do what I do. If I can't let anything not get to me, it's like how do I not give you guidance? But it's about deciding that his moods won't affect me, right? That the energy in the house won't affect my moods, that I'm going to stand strong in my divine power. I'm going to not, I'm not going to try and let things get to me that they are at home and rerun through old memories, right? So what I was speaking to Tony before was about the rejection. And when he mentioned it yesterday, I'm like, fuck, it cuts deep. Like, it still cuts so deep. And my thoughts are really, it's what my body is going to fight or flight mode, right? That's how my body is dealing with the stress, because it literally can't cope, because my thought process is unhealthy. And this really is a really testing time for me to try and work out a way to protect my energy and to protect my soul being and to rise above it, like to really rise above it and to let it go without obviously resorting to, physical violence, to smack people. But, and I don't know how to do that yet. Every day it's a process, right? It's working every day. Whether or not I'll get it right before I leave, I don't know. Whether or not I'll chicken out, I don't know. So, I'm learning to do what other people do and just turn their shit off, like just turn it off and just don't care. And even my twin said that to me as well. It's just like, at a point you've just got to turn off and not care. And it's, if anyone knows me, it's just like that's the last thing I do, right, is to not care. But at what cost, right? At what cost? So I am going to stop talking because it's probably just been a while. So, don't forget about my free PDF. When you see that post, I would really appreciate you sharing my posts or my pages to really get my word out there. I have some really great stuff to launch over the next 12 months, but I need your help. I need you to help, get that blog out there, get the free PDF, because there'll be, a few books in the next couple of years, probably one sooner than that. All my blogs are on medium.com. And yeah, so I would really appreciate your help to really share my posts and get my word out and get us out there. So, let's move forward. Sending love for the week ahead. It's a Friday. Happy weekend, everybody. And we'll see you next week.